That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
All right, guys, as many of y'all know, I am not in Austin right now. I'm not going to be able to record y'all the same amount of videos that I had with the Fantasy Basketball channel, but I have a solution. We are going to be featuring a couple members of the Fantasy Flock on the basketball channel over the next 2 weeks. I am very excited to see what they're able to produce. The first few submissions I've gotten have been fantastic, way better than I expected, to be completely honest. This first one that y'all are going to watch is coming from Matt and Bryan talking about their waiver wire recommendations. And I will ask one major thing from y'all. Not only leaving likes like y'all always do, making this channel the fastest growing fantasy basketball channel on YouTube, but on top of that, these guys need your opinions. They need your critiques. So please, let's get some constructive criticism down there in the comment section below. I've been sending them my own thoughts. I think they're doing a fantastic job so far. And from what I've seen in terms of their improvement from their first video to their second. But yeah, I'm expecting it to only get better going forward. Go down to the comment section. Let them know what you think, as I am very excited to get their first video on the channel. And yeah, wherever you could find them on Twitter, everything, I'll get that information down in the description below if you would want to go out there and follow them.
What's going on, guys? I'm Matt. I'm here with Bryan. And today, we're just going to go over some waiver wire pickups that we believe deserve a roster spot on your squad. So let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into it. Bryan, who you got, man?
Yeah, my first guy this year for your team is Josh Jackson. He's over there on the Pistons. And the one thing I want to stress early in this podcast right now is that we want to see an uptick in minutes with more opportunities for our players, right? So Josh Jackson averaging 26 minutes a game right now, 16 points, 2 assists, and 5.2 boards a game. I like those numbers, and with those minutes increasing, he should see some more points, more boards, more assists, and in turn, he's been doing a great job with his defense this year, averaging 2 steals and then 2 blocks as well. So I like what I'm seeing early out of the gates from my boy Josh Jackson, and he could be a guy that you might want to get this year.
Definitely. Josh Jackson, a guy who's getting a bunch of minutes, seeing a rejuvenated career over here, and he's in that starting lineup. So he's someone who you can rely on, not to just one game sit on the bench, the next game see 25, 28 minutes. He's in there every night starting, and I do agree he is a great option to go pick up.
Yeah.
The next guy I wanted to talk about is someone who I think is another guy who's going to have a ton of opportunity this year, and that's Lu Dort. So Dort is only owned in 52% of leagues, which I think is criminal. Lu Dort is lighting it up. He is picking it up right from where he left off in the bubble, just knocking down a ton of threes. And so with Lu Dort, we all knew, oh, he's a lockdown defender. He gets steals and blocks. But no, this year he is just lighting it up on the scoring end. He went 9 of 11 the other night. He has the absolute green light over there with Shea. And him being a young player on a bad team, only look for him to get more opportunity. His stock only keeps rising. He's getting a ton of minutes every night, averaging about 33 a night. That is a monster amount. And his usage rating is only going up. He's looking good over there. They're going to look to get him going more and more. And I think he's someone who needs to be picked up in your league.
I will admit, honestly, I have been sleeping on Lu Dort. I mean, our best friend, Brandon Carmichael, last year was telling us, don't sleep on Lu Dort. He's been nice. Thunder is his team. He knows him like the back of his hand. He said he's going to be a good player. And what did I do? I just went, what'd you say? I was asleep the whole time. And this year, 33 minutes, and he's on the freaking – you could pick him up? Are you kidding me? 33 minutes. That's insane. I might get him right now during this podcast, actually, because I've been sleeping on him too much. But I think that's a good pick. Just like you said, those minutes, I just can't even get over that, actually. 33 minutes. I didn't even know that he was playing that much. Anyways, my guy now doesn't sound as good, but Mason Plumley. I know, Detroit again. I like what he's doing over there. He's averaging 30 minutes off the bench. He's off the bench and he's averaging 30. He's like a Lou Will over there. He's got 8 points. Here's the big thing. He's averaging 14 boards in the past 2 games. 14 boards. He's looking nice. He's a gritty player. He's going to get you those points. He's going to get you those boards. He will get a couple assists, and he's not going to have too many turnovers. He's a good defender. He's going to get you maybe a block a game, maybe even a steal a game expect that. And he's been averaging about 27 fantasy points, which a guy that you might need to stream over the week, I like that a lot out of him. He's getting those 30 minutes. And, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Look at all these bad teams. Just because they're bad teams doesn't mean they don't have players who could produce. Like both Josh Jackson and Plumley are both guys who are putting up great fantasy numbers. I don't see why you wouldn't go ahead and pick them up. Another guy who's on a team I thought was going to be bad, but is actually ended up being pretty damn competitive, is Tyrese Halliburton. So this is a young guy out there with the Kings. He's running that backup point guard right now. But when he's on the court, he is effective and efficient as anyone. He has been playing a ton of minutes, and in all these minutes he's played, about 28 to 30 a night, he only has a total of, 3 turnovers? That is insane as a young player. So he's only 50% owned. In his last 2 games, he's had, or last 3 games actually, 11, 13, and 5, averaging about 6 assists. He has high steal, not high block upside, but he has high defensive upside with all the steals he's getting. He's already had a 3 steal night. He's just has high basketball IQ type of player. He's someone who I would say go ahead and go pick him up. He's going to be in that Rookie of the Year conversation, and especially if he can crack that starting lineup, maybe move De'Aaron Fox over to the 2 guard, just because they look so good when he's in the game. He's a big factor of why this Kings team is winning games, so that is only going to make his stock increase, and they look to get him in a game plan more. He's their first-round pick. They have no reason to not play him more and get him more involved, and that's exactly what they're doing, running him a bunch of minutes, and he's making the most out of it.
Yeah, he's a bad man over there. I really like him a lot, what he does with that lineup. They look deadly when he's on the court. I don't see why they wouldn't try to get him in that starting minute conversation. I've been getting him on FanDuel, making me really happy each time I play him. I like that pick a lot, actually. Very high upside with him.
Especially if he looks to crack with De'Aaron Fox and him both starting, look out. That's going to be a big problem.
I like that a lot. My next guy, Larry Nance Jr., Kevin Love is out. He is owned in about 74% of leagues. Our league, he's not owned, however. But I do see a lot of upside with him right now while Kevin Love's out. Maybe even challenge Kevin Love, have Kevin Love come off the bench, which is kind of insane. But my boy's getting 30 minutes right now, averaging 30 minutes. He's got 9 points, 7 boards, and 5 assists, which to me, that's pretty nice with how he's been playing. I could see a lot more coming out of him, a lot more minutes, a lot more points, and just et cetera. He's a great defender too. He's going to fill up that board, the block stat sheet and the steal stat sheet, at least 1 a night. Right now, he's averaging 1 steal and 1 block too. So I like what he's doing out there with Cleveland. And, another not so good team, he could see some more minutes out there.
Yeah, like Bryan said, he's just one of those guys who are going to go out there and they're going to be scrappy. They're not going to fill it up on the points. They're not going to score 20 every night. But here's what they're going to do. They're going to have about 10 points. They're going to have a handful of rebounds, handful of assists. They're going to chase down, hustle rebounds. They're going to get a steal, get a block. And the nights they get 2 steals, 2 blocks, that's like a 40-point night at the end of the night. He has a high upside and a high floor. He's a guy who I think is, like Bryan, that was great mention. I think he's a great pickup.
Yep. Thank you.
Especially with Love out.
Yeah. They could even trade Love, hopefully, but who's going to want to take that contract? That's the only problem.
That would be interesting. That would be very interesting.
If they got rid of Love, that would be a steal of the waiver wires right now is Larry Nance. You could even trade him high, or you can use him throughout the whole year, but that could be something to watch too.
Yeah, so while we're talking about guys with high upside, another guy I wanted to talk about is Miles Bridges. So Miles Bridges is looking great out there with LaMelo. I see he's only owned in a very low amount of leagues, so he should be available on your team. He's a guy who's the other night had 17 rebounds. Every night he's getting 5+ rebounds. He has the 20-point upside, but he'll at least get you around 10. He's another guy like Larry Nance, who's a block a game, a steal a game. He's getting high minutes. And here's the thing. With the emergence of LaMelo Ball looking better and better every night he goes out there, this whole Charlotte team, all those players, their stock is only going to rise with LaMelo Ball. The more LaMelo plays, the better I believe it is for Miles Bridges. So he's someone I would definitely keep an eye out for. Pick up this week, see how he does for you with LaMelo out there. If his minutes go up and he's playing with Miles, we already see it with all these Sports Center highlights. He's throwing them lobs. He's getting everyone open. I'm telling you right now, Miles Bridges is someone who I think deserves to be owned, especially with LaMelo Ball playing out there with him.
While we're talking about the Hornets, get my boy Melo some more minutes. Come on.
Seriously.
Yes, he had a bad first game, but he's been balling out. This is what we wanted to see from the get-go, and he's showing it. He needs to crack that starting lineup somehow, some way. Get him some more minutes.
Yeah, I think we're
and-
seeing good things, though. We're seeing gradually he's getting more and more minutes. He's
True.
being more efficient and effective. People were questioning that three-point shot. That looks to be one of his best attributes. He's pulling up from deep, and he's pulling up confidently. He's shooting about 50%, and it's not like he's only shot like 5 threes. He shot almost like 20 threes. He's shooting 50%. You kidding me? No excuse for this guy not to be in the lineup. I love Terry Rozier. I love Devontae Graham. But get LaMelo in the lineup. Put one of the two of them on the bench. There'll be a spark plug, amazing offense off the bench. But you got to get LaMelo in there.
Yep, I agree. Him and our boy Tyrese are probably going to be those top 2 for the Rookie of the Year this year so far in the
Don't forget about your boy Wiseman.
Yeah, he's okay. Warrior Nation. We're keeping him a secret for a little bit longer. But my next guy is Chris Boucher over there with the Raptors. My boy Matt had him at the beginning of the year. Had him when he had those 7 blocks, which is insane. I don't even know how that happened, but that was pretty crazy. So, in turn, he had a pretty good amount of minutes, 28 minutes that game. A lot of people were talking about him. And what did he do the next game? He had 8 minutes. You kidding me? How are you not going to play that man? And then you're going to play Aaron Baines instead? I think if Boucher can get those minutes, he can be that great fantasy scoring option with that block upside, the board, and he will score you 10 points a game. I think he could. Right now, I'm not picking him up until I see he has some consistent games with over 20 minutes at least. Unless I have, like, if your team is not too great on the bench right now and you have a spot open, might want to pick him up just in case, because he is that guy who could get you a lot of points. But we just got to see what the Raptors want to do. I don't know what they're doing with Aaron Baines starting instead of him. He's not too young, but he still is a younger guy. I think he could have an opportunity to strive if they give him the minutes. But for now, he's a little too risky to hold onto. But if he is available, think about picking him up and keep an eye out on him, actually.
Yeah, like Bryan said, his only real competition over there is Aaron Baines, I'm a Suns fan. I love Aaron Baines. Bainesy is the man. He's a stud. But I don't think he has much more to offer. I think he's about tapped out. He's hit his potential. Boucher is someone who could come out and end up being a starter quality player for the Raptors. The Raptors love their hidden gem players. So Boucher is a guy who could hit the three. He stretches the floor a little bit. He's a shot blocker. He's a stud player. And look to see if he gets more minutes. That's what we said. We're going to be always looking at those minutes played. It's going to be one of, if not the most important thing we're looking at. Consistent, high-minute players are going to be the ones who are going to have the most opportunity. It's just simple, like math, really. So that's someone we definitely want to look out for to see if they get them more involved. And then he's easily a pickup.
Yeah.
But, another guy who I was looking at, another young guy who's actually getting a lot of opportunity is Cameron Reddish over there with the Atlanta Hawks. So Cam Reddish is a guy who's averaging around 13 points, handful of rebounds, handful of assists, only 52% owned. And he is just being super efficient in this amazing high-scoring young offense that the Hawks have. They're scoring over 120 points a night. They're competitive. They just beat the Nets. They're going to be competitive and a problem all year long. They're only going to look to get Cameron Reddish going more. He's their first-round pick. He's going to be a guy who's going to be important on this team the whole year, and he's not going to slow down. If anything, they're only going to look to get him going even more, especially with Trae Young out there facilitating. He's someone I definitely would say you got to look out for. He's getting steals. He's getting blocks. He's being efficient, hitting the three ball. And he has those opportunities to have 30-plus point games. He's someone who can go off for 40 points on fantasy night with a floor of around 20, 25. He's someone I would definitely say is worth a pickup.
Yeah, I think that's that trend that we're looking at this year is those second year, maybe even rookies, those third-year players who are starting to emerge on their team and get more opportunities. Cam Reddish is one of those guys that I really like. I was actually going to bring him up, but thankfully you brought him up. I really like what he's doing over there. High-scoring offense, like you said. That's just going to create more opportunities for everything down the line. So, good player right there. But my next guys, I'm going to combo them because our boy John Morant's out for a couple of months now. But our boys Kyle Anderson and Dylan Brooks, I love Kyle Anderson. I picked him up before Ja got hurt, but I love what he's doing over there. He's averaging right now 31 minutes, and he was on the waiver wire. Another key thing that we keep talking about, we're going to keep stressing it every week, minutes played. We need to see those minutes because what's going to happen in turn? More points, fill up the stat sheet. But so far, he's been filling up the stat sheet for me. 16 points, 4 assists, and 9 boards. And he's just going to keep doing, even when Ja comes back, I think he's going to prove himself. He's going to have those minutes increase. He's going to stay in that starting lineup. He's looking good for me. He still can do a little bit more on the defensive side too. Right now, he's averaging less than 1 block a game and less than a half a steal. But I think that can increase as they start playing better defense. And just with the more minutes, he's going to be able to get more. So I really like what he's doing. And then my second guy, Dylan Brooks, right now he's averaging 19 points, 4 boards, and 3 assists. That man's balling. I really like what he's doing. Another 31-minute guy. Really like his defensive capabilities. He's averaging 2 steals a game so far in the early season, which I like, and only 3 turnovers. Yes, that sounds a little big, but they're trying to do a lot of stuff over there, the Grizzlies, and I think he still has a lot of upside with everything else. The scoring, he's going to score you 20 points at least. Floor, again, another thing we like to stress is that floor. He's going to score you 20, but he has that capability of getting 40, 45 with those points, the boards, and the assists. And if he has those nights where he has those 3 steals, keep an eye on Dylan Brooks for sure.
Both those guys with Ja, just look for them to get more opportunity. Dylan Brooks is an absolute bucket getter. I've liked him for years. He's a stud.
Yep.
I definitely like both those pickups. Another guy who's kind of, I heard a little bit of buzz about, but you don't usually think about when it comes to fantasy basketball all too much, coming off the bench, is actually Bobby Portis. So Bobby Portis over there with the Bucks has just fit in like a shoe. He's been a stud coming off the bench for them, coming in at the forward spot. He's been averaging around 25 minutes a night. He's getting near double-doubles almost every night he plays, around 10 to 15 points, 6 to 12 rebounds, shooting efficiently. He's a block and a steal candidate also. He is someone who I think if he continues to get these minutes and opportunity, he's someone who's just going to be a total stud, 26 around points per night. You might say, his best games were in blowouts, but that is just the reality of this Bucks team. It's a good team who's going to blow out bad teams. So when they blow out a bad team, Bobby's going to get near 30 minutes, and he's going to be a 20-plus point, 12-rebound candidate on those type of nights. And he is coming off as a 6-man, it seems, for that Bucks squad. And his role out there is, go out there, go get me some buckets, back him down, get the boards, and he's doing just that. And he looks to be fitting in perfectly well over there. Only owned in 20% of leagues right now. I think he's definitely, if you're looking for a streaming option at the forward/center, someone you should definitely keep an eye out because he's open in almost everyone's leagues right now.
Yeah, I like that key point that you said. The Bucks are going to blow out teams, and in turn, that's going to give them some more minutes. I really like that pick. Like you said, he's that guy that no one really talks about for fantasy basketball. So Bobby Portis, are you insane? But he's putting up the stats right now. He's looking good. And not to mention, he's doing pretty good on defense right now, almost averaging a steal and a block a game. That's another thing we like to see out of our guys is getting those steals, getting those blocks. It's going to, in turn, get you more points. 3 points for a steal, 3 points for a block. What more can you ask for? But I like that pick a lot. But I honestly don't have anyone else other than I wanted to talk about another Charlotte guy, Bismack Biambo. What are your thoughts about him? I think he's been looking pretty nice. That Charlotte team, kind of gritty, He's going to get you those points. He's averaging 10 points, 7 boards, and 2 assists out of your big man, and he's going to block some shots. You already know, no, not today. Pretty much going to be exact same thing. 1 block a game. We're getting those points. He's averaging 28 minutes right now. He could be someone to watch out for with that Charlotte team as they're trying to figure out what's going to work for them, what's going to work. And I think he's going to work out for them. He's a good defender. He can score for you. He's going to get you those boards. But I kind of like what he's doing over there with Charlotte.
So, Busy is an absolute athletic freak. And let me tell you this much. Just like I said before with Miles Bridges, with LaMelo in the game, getting those minutes, even with, Terry and them, he's still good, but especially with Melo out there, throwing him those lobs, giving him those pocket passes off the pick and roll.
That's going to be so.
He is candidate for 12 and 12 playing with Melo, 2 blocks. He can give you those type of nights. So he's definitely someone who's currently hot on the market on the waiver wire pickups, but I don't see why he's not, because he's just playing good basketball over there. He's getting opportunity, especially like I said, with the uptick of LaMelo's minutes. I think all these guys are just their stock is gonna rise to this right there with them.
And a really good key to always look at is his turnovers. And right now with 28 minutes, almost 29 minutes, he's only averaging a turnover a game, which is what you want to ask for from your big man. Not turn the ball over. Give me some boards, give me some points and a block a game. I'm happy out of it. So I like what he's doing over there. He's looking like a good fit for the Hornets right now.
Definitely.
Do you have anyone else that you wanted to talk about? I think I got my guys so far.
Yeah, I think I'm good, man. So listen, guys, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I really hope myself and Bryan, I hope we've helped you out, maybe gave you some guys to keep an eye out, maybe got some guys to pick up. Let us know if those guys help you out in the comments down below. We really appreciate you guys tuning in, and we're going to sign out. You have any last words, Bryan?
I just want to thank you guys for watching, and hopefully you pick up some of our guys.
All right, guys, we'll catch you later. Catch you on the next one. Thank you.
All right.